This is my response to why I hate religion but love Jesus. And I feel the same way. I love Jesus. And religion, well, there's many different religions. Hindu religion, Muslim religion, Jewish religion, Buddhist religion. But the beautiful thing about Christianity is it's a relationship with the Holy Spirit, with God, with Jesus. And one thing he did not talk about in his original video was encountering the power and the joy of the Holy Spirit. And that's what I want to talk about here because I think that's so important. When the Holy Spirit comes in power, beautiful things happen. People's hearts are made alive to the Holy Spirit, and it can be like a huge bucket of joy is being poured out into the hearts of the people there. Sometimes so much love, blessings, and joy flow from the Holy Spirit that people want to stay in revival meetings until late into the night because they don't want the blessings to stop. I have been in meetings where the Holy Spirit came with such power that people were healed of physical and emotional problems. Addictions were broken, marriages have been healed, wrongs were righted between people, joy replaced sadness, hope replaced despair. Some of these meetings were similar to what God did when he used a young man named Evan Roberts to bring revival to Wales in 1904. In late October and early November, Evan facilitated meetings in churches by allowing the Holy Spirit to lead. He talked to the people with great passion. They could hear the urgency in his voice, and they could see the sweat beading on his brow. But mostly, they felt the power of the Holy Spirit. Evan facilitated the meetings in churches by allowing the Holy Spirit to lead. He talked to the people with great passion. They could hear the urgency in his voice. They could see the sweat beading on his brow, but mostly they felt the power of the Holy Spirit. On a Sunday evening in November of 1904, the presence of the Holy Spirit was so thick, and the people were so excited about it that they didn't want to leave the church meeting. It was undoubtedly cold outside and the sun set early in November, but the people didn't care. Even the thought of a cold walk home in the dark didn't dampen their enthusiasm. The meeting was still going strong at midnight. This was one of the many times that the Holy Spirit was moving so powerfully that people sat in their seats spellbound, listening to the speaker and drinking in the joy of the Holy Spirit. It must have been a time of wonder and astonishment. Robert writes about the power of faith, of believing that you will get what you pray for. He spent time encouraging the people to believe that the Holy Spirit would come in power. He told the people not just to think that the Holy Spirit would come, but to believe it with all their hearts. He understood how important it is to believe. Roberts said that by midnight the whole congregation was overwhelmed with tears. People were being deeply moved. He felt the Holy Spirit lead him to pray aloud, and he asked the other people sitting there to pray also. The prayer went from person to person. Some people had difficulty praying, others prayed easily. Some prayed coldly, some with warmth and peace. It was a wonderful thing to see. As the prayer went on, the place became more and more filled with the power of the Holy Spirit. The meeting went on till well past midnight. In fact, Roberts didn't get to bed until 3:15 a.m. What an incredible time that must have been. People stayed because what they were experiencing was so fantastic they could not tear themselves away from it. The Holy Spirit gave them the energy to keep going late into the night. I'm sure they remembered that experience for the rest of their lives and considered it one of the best times of their life. Robert reported that many of the people were almost overwhelmed with amazement at the power of the Holy Spirit. This still happens around the world today. I've been in meetings like this, and I've experienced the power of the Holy Spirit, and every time it happens, it's the most beautiful thing that I've ever experienced.